Kayak translation by W.H.D. Rouse. Jataka number 455. Mati Posaka Jataka. Though far away, etc. This story the master told, while living in Jetavana monastery, about an elder monk who had his mother to support. The circumstances of the event are like those of the Sama birth. On this occasion also the master said, addressing the brethren, "Be not angry, brethren, with this man. Wise men there have been of old, who even when born from the womb of animals, being parted apart from their mothers, refused for 7 days to take food, sadly weakening away. And even when they were offered food fit for a king, did but reply, 'Without my mother I will not eat.' Yet took food again when they saw the mother." So saying, he told a story of the past. Once upon a time, when Brahmadatta reigned in Benares, the Bodhisattva was born as an elephant in the Himalaya region. All white he was, a magnificent beast, and a herd of 80,000 elephants surrounded him. But his mother was blind. He would give his elephants the sweet wild fruit, so sweet, to convey to her. Yet to her they gave none, but themselves ate all of it. When he made inquiry, and heard news of this, said he, "I will leave the herd, and cherish my mother." So in the night season, unknown to the other elephants, taking his mother with him, he departed to Mount Chandorana. And there he placed his mother in a cave of the hills, hard by a lake, and cherished her. Now a certain forester, who lived in Benares, lost his way. And being unable to get his directions, began to mourn with a great noise. Hearing this noise, the Bodhisattva thought to himself, "There is a man in distress, and it is not right that he comes to harm while I am here." So he came near to the man. But the man fled in fear. Seeing which, the elephant said to him, "Ho man! You have no need to fear me. Do not flee, but say why you walk about weeping?" "My lord," said the man, "I have lost my way, this 7 days gone." Said the elephant, "Fear not, O man. For I will put you in the path of men." Then he made the man sit on his back, and carried him out of the forest, and then returned. This wicked man determined to go into the city, and tell the king. So he marked the trees, and marked the hills, and then made his way to Benares. At that time the king's state elephant had just died. The king caused it to be proclaimed by beat of drum, "If any man has in any place seen an elephant fit and proper for the king's riding, let him say it." Then this man came before the king, and said, "I, my lord, have seen a splendid elephant, white all over and excellent, fit for the king's riding. I will show the way. Send but with me the elephant trainers, and you shall catch him." The king agreed, and sent with the man a forester and a great troop of followers. The man went with him, and found the Bodhisattva feeding in the lake. When the Bodhisattva saw the forester, he thought, "This danger has doubtless come from none other than that man. But I am very strong. I can scatter, even 1,000 elephants. In anger I am able to destroy all the beasts that carry the army of a whole kingdom. But if I give way to anger, my virtue will be marred. So today I will not be angry, not even though pierced with knives." With this resolve, bowing his head he remained immovable. Down into the lotus lake went the forester, and seeing the beauty of his points, said, "Come, my son." Then seizing him by the trunk, he led him in 7 days to Benares. When the Bodhisattva's mother found that her son came not, she thought that he must have been caught by the king's nobles. "And now," she wailed, "all these trees will go on growing, but he will be far away." And she repeated 2 stanzas. "Though far away this elephant should go, still olivine and kataja will grow. Grain, grass, and oleander, lilies white. On sheltered spots the bluebells dark still blow. Somewhere that royal elephant must go, full fed by those whose breast and body show, all gold covered, that king or prince may ride, fearless to triumph over the armored enemy. Now the trainer, while he was yet in the way, sent on a message to tell the king. And the king caused the city to be decorated. The trainer led the bodhisattva into a stable all decorated with festoons and with garlands, and surrounding him, with a screen of many colors, sent word to the king. And the king took all manner of fine food and caused it to be given to the bodhisattva. But not a bit would he eat without my mother. I will eat nothing, said he. The king pleaded him to eat, repeating the third stanza. Come, take a morsel, elephant, and never become weak. There's many a thing to serve your king that you shall do one day. Hearing this, the bodhisattva repeated the fourth stanza. No, she by Mount Chandorana, poor blind and miserable one, beats with a foot on some tree root, without her royal son. The king said the fifth stanza to ask his meaning. Who is it by Mount Chandorana, what blind and miserable one beats with a foot on some tree root, without her royal son? To which the other replied in the sixth stanza. My mother by Chandorana, blind, miserable one, beats with her foot on some tree root for lack of me, her son. And hearing this, the king gave him freedom, reciting the seventh stanza. This mighty elephant, who feeds his mother, let go free. And let him to his mother go, and to all his family. The eighth and ninth stanzas are those of the Buddha in his perfect wisdom. The elephant from prison freed, the beast set free from chain, with words of consolation went back to the hills again. Then from the cool and clear pool, where elephants frequent, he with his trunk withdrew water, and his mother all sprinkled over. But the mother of the bodhisattva thought it had begun to rain, and repeated the 10th stanza, rebuking the rain. Who brings unseasonable rain, what evil deity? For he is gone, my own, my son, who used to care for me. Then the bodhisattva repeated the 11th stanza, to reassure her. Rise, mother. Why should you there lie? Your son has come. Videha, Kassi's glorious king, has sent me safely home. And she returned thanks to the king by repeating the last stanza. Long live that king! Long may he bring his realm's prosperity! Who freed that son who ever has done so great respect to me? The king was pleased with the bodhisattva's goodness. And he built a town not far from the lake, and did continual service to the bodhisattva and to his mother. Afterwards, when his mother died, and the bodhisattva had performed her funeral rites, he went away to a monastery called Khuddaka. In this place 500 sages came and lived, and the king did the like service for them. The king had a stone image made in the figure of the bodhisattva, and great honor he paid to this. There the inhabitants of all India year by year gathered together, to perform what was called the Elephant Festival. When the master had ended this discourse, he explained the truths, and identified the birth who supported his mother was established in the fruit of the first path. At that time, Ananda was the king, the lady Mahamaya was the she-elephant, and I was myself the elephant that fed his mother. Source adapted from archaic translation by W.H.D. Rouse. Jataka number 456. Juna Jataka, O King of Men, etc. This story the master told while living at Jetavana Monastery about the boons received by Elder Monk Ananda. During the 20 years of his first Buddhahood the Lord Buddha's attendants were not always the same, sometimes Elder Monk Nagasamala, sometimes Nagita, Upavana, Sunakata, Kunda, Sagala, sometimes Megha, waited upon the Lord Buddha. One day the Lord Buddha said to the brethren, "Now I am old, brethren, and when I say, 'Let us go in this way,' some of the brotherhood go by another way, some drop my bowl and robe on the ground. Choose out one brother to attend always upon me." Then they rose up all, beginning with Elder Monk Sariputra, and laid their joined hands to their heads, crying, "I will serve you, sir, I will serve you." But he refused them, saying, "Your prayer is forestalled. Enough." Then the brethren said to the Elder Monk Ananda, "Do you, friend, ask for the post of attendant?" The elder monk said, "If the Lord Buddha will not give me the robe which he himself has received, if he will not give me his alms of food, if he will not grant me to dwell in the same fragrant cell, if he will not have me with him to go where he is invited, but if the Lord Buddha will go with me where I am invited, if I shall be granted to introduce the company at the moment of coming, which comes from foreign parts and foreign countries to see the Lord Buddha, if I shall be granted to approach the Lord Buddha as soon as doubt shall arise, if whenever the Lord Buddha shall discourse in my absence he will repeat his discourse to me as soon as I shall return, then I will attend upon the Lord Buddha." These 8 boons he craved, 4 negative and 4 positive. And the Lord Buddha granted them to him. After that he attended continually upon his master for 25 years. So having obtained the preeminence in the 5 points, and having gained 7 blessings, blessing of teaching, blessing of instruction, blessing of the knowledge of causes, blessing of inquiry as to one's good, blessing of living in a holy place, blessing of enlightened devotion, blessing of potential Buddhahood, in the presence of the Buddha he received the heritage of 8 boons, and became famous in the Buddha's dharma, and shone as the moon in the heavens. One day they began to talk about it in the hall of truth. "Friend, the Tathagata has satisfied Elder Monk Ananda by granting his boons." The master entered, and asked, "What are you speaking of, brethren, as you sit here?" They told him. Then he said, "It is not now the first time, brethren, but in former days as now I satisfied Ananda with a boon. In former days, as now, whatsoever he asked, I gave him." And so saying, he told a story of the past. Once upon a time, when Brahmadatta reigned in Benares, a son of his named Prince Junar, or the Moonlight Prince, was studying at Taxila. One night, after he had been listening carefully to his teacher's instruction, he left the house of his teacher in the dark, and set out for home. A certain Brahmin had been seeking alms, and was going home, and the prince, not perceiving him, ran up against the Brahmin, and broke his alms bowl with a blow of his arm. The Brahmin fell, with a cry. In compassion the prince turned round, and taking hold of the man's hands raised him to his feet. The Brahmin said, "Now, my son, you have broken my alms bowl, so give me the price of a meal." Said the prince, "I cannot now give you the price of a meal, Brahmin. But I am Prince Junar, son of the king of Kasi, and when I come to my kingdom, you may come to me and ask for the money." When his education was finished, he took leave of his teacher, and returning to Benares, showed his father what he had learnt. "I have seen my son before my death," said the king, "and I will see him king indeed." Then he crowned him and made him king. Under the name of King Junar the prince ruled in righteousness. When the Brahmin heard of it, he thought now he would recover the price of his meal. So to Benares he came, and saw the city all decorated, and the king moving in procession rightwise around it. Taking his stand upon a high place, the Brahmin stretched out his hand, and cried, "Victory to the king!" The king passed by without looking at him. When the Brahmin found that he was not noticed, he asked an explanation by repeating the first stanza. "O king of men, hear what I have to say. Not without cause have I come here this day. It is said, O best of men, one should not pass a wandering Brahmin standing in the way. On hearing these words, the king turned back the elephant with his jeweled prod, and repeated the second stanza. I heard, I stand come Brahmin, quickly say. What cause it is has brought you here today? What boon is it that you would crave of me? That you are come to see me? Speak, I ask. What further king and Brahmin said to each other by way of question and answer, is told in the remaining stanzas. Give me 5 villages, all choice and fine. 100 slave girls, 700 cows. More than 1,000 ornaments of gold. And 2 wives give me, of like birth with mine. Have you a penance, Brahmin, dread to tell? Or have you many a charm and many a spell? Or goblins, ready your behests to do? Or any claim for having served me well? No penance have I, nor no charm and spell. No demons ready to obey me well. Nor any wage for service can I claim. But we have met before, the truth to tell. I cannot call to mind, in time past over, that I have ever seen your face before. Tell me, I beg you, tell this thing to me. When have we met, or where, in days of past? In the fair city of Gandhara's king. Taxila, my lord, was our living. There in the pitchy darkness of the night. Shoulder to shoulder you and I did throw. And as we both were standing there, O prince, a friendly talk between us straight begins. Then we together met, and only then. Nor ever once before, nor ever since. Whenever, Brahman, a wise man has met a good man in the world, he should not let friendship once made or old acquaintance go for nothing, nor the thing once done forget. It is fools deny the thing once done, and let old friendships fail of those they once have met. Many a deed of fools to nothing comes. They are ungrateful, and they can forget. But trusty men cannot forget the past. Their friendship and acquaintance ever fast. A low one done by such is not disowned. Thus trusty men are grateful to the last. 5 villages I give you, choice and fine. 100 slave girls, and 700 cows. More than 1,000 ornaments of gold. And more, 2 wives of equal birth with yours. O king, thus is it when the good agree. As the full moon among the stars we see. Even so, O lord of Kasi, so am I. Now you have kept the bargain made with me. The bodhisattva added great honor to him. When the master had ended this discourse, he said, This is not the first time, brethren, that I have satisfied Ananda with boons, but I have done it before. With these words, he identified the birth at that time. Ananda was the Brahmin, and I was myself the king.